What's going on, internet friends? I hope you guys are all doing amazing and great, and I hope that you're watching this and you're like in the best mood ever, because I personally am not. Yeah, I haven't done one of these in a while. So I was debating on whether or not I should make this video, but I feel like it's important because it's a big thing that's going on in my life and I really just don't know how to deal with it. And I feel like if I don't know how to deal with it, then there has to be other people who are just like, bro, what the fuck? So I never really fully understood how to do these videos. I don't like talking about people, it's not really meant to gossip, but I do think that navigating relationships, especially romantic ones or semi-romantic ones or whatever you want to call it, I personally think that's a huge part of living with mental illness regardless of what you have, and that it's fucking hard and it's a big piece that people need to talk about, but it's also super uncomfortable and awkward, at least for me. I recently just ended relationship, quote unquote, and I say quote unquote in the sense that we were in a relationship for a while this past year, but it was sort of rocky, and at times it felt like we weren't in a relationship, but then it also felt like we were, we didn't say we were, but then our actions felt like we did, and it was a whole mess. I wanted to talk to y'all about sort of how I connected this to my complex PTSD and how I an epiphany I guess I had that's kind of hard for me to admit, and I don't really know what to do about it. So for those of you who don't know what complex PTSD is, it's trauma that has happened typically over multiple years or a more extended time frame, rather as PTSD is isolated to not necessarily a single event, but it's typically a short condensed period of trauma, if that makes sense. So for me, I have a severe-ish maybe attachment disorder from childhood trauma that I experienced with interpersonal relationships, specifically with my family, and really not being able to attach to anyone at an early age. So I have a lot of problems there. I witnessed a lot of violence within my family, and violence that was sort of inflicted upon me emotionally, mentally, that type of violence over the years, and it all kind of related to behaviors within relationships and within family dynamics. So that's why I have complex PTSD and why it's sort of in a nutshell coming back up now. So with me specifically, I feel like my mother, who was in and out of my life since I was born basically, is a big part of the emotions that I'm feeling right now in terms of letting somebody go. I remember being 3 years old. I don't remember all the details, but I definitely remember being with my dad. I was still very, very young, and me calling my mom, even at that age, and her not picking up, her always, not for her own fault. She had things going on, mental illness and, addiction and all of that, whatever. I don't really know the whole story, but she had her own problems going on. But it was just a lot to deal with. So it's kind of hard for me. It's hard for me to attach to people, but at the same time, I attach too hard or too heavily to people, to the fact where I just don't want to let go. I know that probably doesn't make any sense to y'all, but let me put it into the context of this relationship. So I think I was beginning to think that I need to realize that, even though you care about somebody deeply, you can care about somebody, you can love somebody so deeply. Sometimes things what I was saying in the beginning just don't work out. Either if it's long distance or life stages or sometimes things just happen, and people have different expectations, and it sucks. I'm not saying it's great or anything, it just sucks, but sometimes things just don't work out. And I think it's important for people in any relationship, regardless if you have a mental illness, to realize that at what point am I productively trying to make this work out because I really want this, or do I have to be honest with myself and say hey, I'm not sure of a relationship in this way, or if the expectations we have for ourselves like, I'm not sure if this will work out. No matter how much I want it to, like, this just simply might not work. Like, if you're married and like you move to Australia and that person stays here in the United States, like, you guys love each other, you guys are married, but like that might not work out. Like, it's just like, it's just a thing. So I have a hard time accepting that, I think. Even now, like, I think logically, I think I did the right thing, in terms of being like, hey, I don't think this is working out. Like, I just don't. I have a lot going on in my life with mental illness and just things, like, there's a lot. So like, while I feel like I did the right thing logically, and I know that that is the healthy, non-toxic, like, way to go about things, I could just string this along and continue to have like fights and like continue to argue about things and continue to like kind of not be in a healthy relationship, and that's not good. All for the sake of that, like, I don't like losing people. And it sounds like kind of selfish, and it is, but it's selfish for like a reason. Like, people have always left my life. So it's like, it just feels like I am losing a limb, you guys. And it's so strange. It hurts. Like, it's like, I've gone through like obviously different types of mental pain, but like my heart hurts. I think another huge part is that people will look at this or like look at my behaviors. And when I say people, I mean the person I was dating. And maybe like, I guess our friends. But they'll see my dynamics and it looks like I don't necessarily care. It looks like, if I care so much about this person and it hurts so much, like, why not try to make things work? I think that it takes a more like mature level to kind of look at things and be like, hey, like, I love you, but like, I can't do this, like, it's just not healthy. And that's sort of what hurts even more so than like feeling abandoned. It feels like I have hurt this person. I think that with my mom, it also brings up feelings with my mom again, that like, I know she felt bad about like not always being there in my life, and sometimes, missing things and disappearing and like all of the shit that she did. I know she felt bad because she told me. And like, before she passed away, like literally when she was in hospice, she was like, she felt like her cancer and all of this was her fault. Well, she didn't tell me this, she told my aunt. She said she thought all of like her sickness was her fault for all the bad things she did in the past. And it's like, yeah, you kind of like did some fucked up things that like have affected me, but like, it's not really your fault. Like, you were sick. And that just like breaks my heart. And I just don't, like, it brings up those feelings of like, I don't want to make that person feel bad, because I do care so much about that person. I care. I doesn't look like I do, but I really do. And I don't know necessarily like show it in the ways that people traditionally show it, but I am suffering over here with this like decision, you guys. And like just doing what is right, like the hard thing versus the easy thing. And I don't think that person knows / maybe even cares, / like, even if that person does know it's hard for me, it doesn't mean that person like won't feel sad. I think that like my mind wants to avoid any sadness, any pain. Like, I hate this. I just like want both sides to be cool, but like that doesn't happen. And any type of breakup, there's gonna be like feelings of what, like, does not mean like, I guess you could be happy, but like, even if it's a mutual breakup, you still feel some type of way. Like, that's unavoidable. I think that a big part of like why I feel so bad about hurting that person is that because I never was able to attach to people, and because my mom was in and out of my life, and like people were in and out, and then like, well, you can't escape death, but the people who passed away in my life as well. I think I don't want to hurt those people because I'm afraid if I hurt those people, then they'll leave, or that they'll like think it's a reason to push people away. So like, I would like to be friends with this person, but like, it doesn't always happen in these situations, and like, I just want things to be better. Sometimes it's just life, it's just what happens, and you have to deal with those things instead of perpetuating toxic relationships, because I feel like that's what happens a lot in these scenarios. Like, I wouldn't realize this, and this shit would continue forever. It hurts so badly. It feels like I have just lost, like, I don't know how to explain it, you guys. It sucks ass. I know that like, this is what's for the best, because things just like weren't working out. But I'm so sad that like this relationship has been severed, because it's like, I think anybody would feel this way, if that makes sense. Like, you're talking to someone constantly, you're doing things, like you want to tell this person constantly, this person is a part of your life. So of course, for anybody, it's going to feel weird. I think for me, it brings up feelings of abandonment. Like, I feel like not that this person did this to me, like I initiated, like this is all like on me. But regardless, logically, I know that it still feels like abandonment. It still feels like I am now alone. I have other friends, I have people to support me, but I feel like it just feels so bad. And I think by me not admitting that, like sooner, it's put a strain on that relationship further, and like kind of got to a place where it was like unfair for me to like still be with that person, knowing that like, while yes, I'm with this person because I love them, I don't know if I can give them fully what they want, but I won't let go because of like my own trauma and because I'm like terrified. And even now, like, it's like so hard. It's so like, it feels like, why the fuck did I do that? Feels shitty. All right, y'all. Other than that, I am doing okay-ish. But yeah, like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear from y'all. I'd love to hear for your tips if you have any, or like if you've also been down this road. I feels. All right, peace.